Jacqueline with systemsforselfcare.com, where I help you consistently take daily action so you can create the life that you want. Today, we're going to be talking about tips for staying healthy while traveling. 7 tips for staying healthy while traveling. This is really important. I know right around now, a lot of people are getting ready to go on a trip, whether that's spring break or even just looking towards the summer, things opening up a little bit more. Just that, wanting to get out of this space that we've been in for so long and go explore. And that might just be, that might be a staycation just downtown in your city. That might be going to a cabin. That might be doing an Airbnb, whatever it is. But we're going to talk about 7 tips for staying healthy while traveling. So this is really important because we've all been on a trip where you just felt sick to your stomach a few days in, or maybe you felt sick to your stomach, just the traveling to like actually get to the location. I raised my hand on this one. There's been so many times that we're like, "Cool, we're going to go on a road trip. It's going to be so much fun." And our first stop is the gas station, to fill up the car and buy Twizzlers and combos and Pringles and Gatorade and, soda and sugary coffee. Like, oh, this is so much fun. We get to get like all of this road trip food. And then we get to the hotel and I feel disgusted, or disgusted with myself, but also just my body feels gross. I feel gross. I have a stomach ache from the food. I have a headache from the sugar. I'm tired. I'm irritable. I'm angry with myself. And that's the start of this trip, this vacation. It's not so much fun. It's like, shoot, why do I keep doing this? Right. And so I had to experience that pain. I had to experience that physical and that emotional pain over and over and over again to be like, you got to figure something else out because this is not fun. It's supposed to be this really exciting, fun time for you to go explore and go on this adventure. And now it's turning into you needing to take naps and miss out on adventure, right? So that's what we'll start with. We'll start with pain. Name your pain and your pleasure. So when I talk about pain, you got to figure out what is that pain that you want to get away from. You know yourself best. You've been on a trip before. You know how you have felt, and there's something that you have not liked. What is that pain that you want to get away from? Is it feeling lethargic? Is it having a stomach ache? Is it having bathroom issues? What is that pain? Or maybe it's more emotional. It's more that feeling sick of, like, annoyed with yourself, irritated with yourself, disappointed with yourself. What is that pain that you want to get away from? And what is that pleasure that you want to experience? So pain is really important. Pain can usually motivate us more to do the thing. We're like, I don't want to feel this way about myself anymore. I don't want to have this messy room anymore. I'm so sick of this, right? I'm so sick and tired of blank, right? That's a good motivator. But also we want to guide our thoughts to experiencing pleasure and focus on the good things that can happen. So pain will get you to do the thing, but it's also important to name, like, great. I don't want to feel this way. This is how we do want to feel. I don't want to feel lethargic. I'd like to feel energized on my trip. I'd like to feel energized on this adventure. I'd like to feel well rested, whatever. What is the pain and the pleasure? So that is tip number 1. Get a paper and a pen and write down your pain and your pleasure. Tip number 2, keep that pen and paper out, and you're going to name your current identity and your aspirational identity. So your current identity, I know for a lot of you, you are a yo-yo dieter. You are a yo-yo exerciser. You're either all in or all out. You're an all or nothing type of person. That might be your current or your old identity. What identity? What is your aspirational identity? Who is that person you want to be? I'm really sick and tired of being a yo-yo dieter. I'd like to just be a moderate, normal, imperfect eater. I'm so sick and tired of being a yo-yo exerciser. I'd like to be the person that just exercises consistently, right? So name your current or your old identity and your aspirational identity, that person that you want to be while you are traveling, right? So this isn't like, for so many of us, we throw everything out the window when we're on a trip, because it sounds like, this is, this is just that one time. It's just that one time that I'm going on this 7-day trip. And you're like, well, shoot, I keep saying this is that one time. This is the stressful life thing happened, this bad stressful life. My dog got sick. I don't have to take care of myself. I'm going on a trip. I don't have to take care of myself. It's the weekend. I don't have to take care of myself. It's the holidays. It's like, oh, interesting. Life actually isn't this like steady thing. There's always something popping up. So going on a trip, it's like, yeah, who do you want to be while you are on that trip? Okay. So tip number 1, name your pain and pleasure. Tip number 2, name your current identity and your aspirational identity, that person you want to be. Tip number 3, these are, so tips 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, they're going to be more tangible. These are like the actions. So tip 1 and 2 is like identifying your motivating factors. Like that's kind of that background work. Now let's get to the things that you need to do, the tangible, practical daily actions. So the next tip is sleep. You need to get sleep while you're traveling. Again, we think like, I'm on vacation. I don't want to sleep. I'm going to waste so much time sleeping. And it's like, wait, there's 24 hours in a day. Your body needs sleep so that it can, go and do the things that you want to do. And if you don't give your body what it needs, it will figure out a way to get it later on. So if you don't get your 7 or 8 hours of sleep, you'll probably end up taking naps later on, or you'll get back from vacation and now you're napping and your sleep is all messed up. So there's 24 hours in a day. If you sleep for 8 hours, you still have 16 hours to go and be on an adventure. And that's plenty of time. And again, if you take care of your body, you give your body sleep, you will be able to actually enjoy those 16 hours of doing the fun, adventurous things. Tip number 4 is drink water. Again, we're like, I'm on vacation. I'm just going to drink alcohol and I'm just going to drink coffee and I'm going to drink sugary drinks. And again, we need to take care of our body. I remember being, one of the biggest, the first trips that I ever took. I was had just graduated college, Augustana College, and went on a trip to Kenya with one of our professors, Wenda. He took us to his hometown in Kenya, Meru, and we stayed there. And I mean, it's hot. It's the summer. And there were times that we just didn't feel so great. And his number 1 tip was go drink some water. You need to go get some more water. And 9 times out of 10, drinking more water just helped you feel better. We were moving around a lot. We were like hanging out with kids, we were playing soccer, hanging out with our host families, blah, blah, blah. We just weren't in this environment where you were constantly drinking water. Like it was naturally right next to you. So we needed that reminder of like, go drink some water. And again, 9 times out of 10, it just made you feel better. So if you want to stay healthy while traveling, you don't want to feel lethargic, you'd like to feel energized, you don't want to feel disgusting at the end of the trip, you want to feel good at the end of the trip, make sure that you are hydrating. If you are in an area that you can refill water bottles, bring your own water bottles. Don't get single-use plastic bottles. Bring your own water bottles where you can fill up with water. Or if you're in an area where you can't drink the tap water, then sure, buy some single-use plastic water bottles. But definitely make sure that you are hydrating and taking care of your body. Again, these things, your body, you have to be in your body your whole life, even while you are traveling. So make sure that you are taking care of your body. Tip number 5 is start your day with a self-care session and make sure that movement is in your self-care session. I know that you're going to be walking around a lot. Yes, for sure. That's great. Getting extra steps in is great, especially because we spend a lot of our time at home sitting, but you're still going to want to do like ground yourself, have that thing that you're doing for yourself. In the morning, when I work with clients, when I work one-on-one with clients, I teach them how to do a self-care session. It takes about 40 minutes in the morning. They do it every morning so that they're getting movement in every single day. And it's just a part of who they are now, right? And that movement might look different. It might be lifting heavy weights. It might be doing a cardio workout. It might be foam rolling. It might be using bands. It might be just stretching. It might be just laying in child's pose on your yoga mat, whatever, for 15 minutes. But having that daily movement and doing it even while you're traveling doing those daily actions, it affirms that identity. I'm not a yo-yo exerciser. I just exercise every day a little bit, even while I'm traveling. So doing that action affirms that new identity, and you get to reap the benefits. You feel good in your body while you're traveling. You uphold this identity of being a morning exerciser. It doesn't go out the window because you're traveling. It's just a part of who you are. Why do we do it in the morning? Because once you open your day up to the rest of the world, to your family, to the vacation, the sightseeing, whatever, chances are you're not going to get to it later in the day. You're probably not going to start lifting weights at 8 p.m. after you've been walking around a lot. You're probably not going to sit down and journal at 8 p.m. So it's like, do those things that matter first thing in the morning so that it's done, it's out of the way. And also, it sets you up for success. If you sit down and do a self care session in the morning, it's that reminder of like, oh yeah, this is the person that I am. These are the actions that that person takes. I'm going to do those actions today. And that brings us to tip number 6, which is eat with the 5 Ps. So I know a while ago someone had asked me, like, how do you keep the, if you're trying to work on being a healthy eater, how do you keep that on your radar? How do you not forget that that's the thing that you're working on? And it's like, right, well, if you start with a self-care session, if that's just a part of who you are, every morning you sit down at your journal and oh right, this is who I am, this is who I'm working on being, I'm going to go do these things. You get that, like, there's that habit. And then when you're about to eat a meal, you're like, yes, can I find some plants and protein? The processed fun food, that's easy to find. You're going to find processed fun food anywhere you travel. It's easy to stop at the gas station and get chips. It's easy to find fried food when you're traveling, right? That's not the hard part. The being intentional and being mindful of like looking for plants and protein. That's something that a lot of us have to remind ourselves. And again, why do we do this? Because we don't want to feel disgusting. We don't want to feel lethargic while we are traveling. We want to feel energized. We want to take care of our body so our body does not get sick while traveling or when we get home from a trip. We want to make sure that we're eating plants and protein so that you feel good and you can go on this adventure. I love trying new foods. We've traveled a lot. We did a road trip in the South. We used to travel a lot when we lived in Atlanta. In the neighboring states, we went on a road trip from Chicago to California up to Seattle and back. We've gone to Thailand. We kind of stopped traveling because of the pandemic, but like we love traveling, but we love traveling because we love adventure. We love seeing, different people, seeing sights, hiking, different things, different activities. And yeah, we like trying new foods, but I personally no longer want to feel that pain of having a stomach ache at the end of the night, having stomach issues, being so tired, so disgusted from the food that I'm eating that I need to take a nap and miss out on the adventure. I don't want that anymore. So I generally eat with the 5 Ps. Wherever it is that we're going, I am looking for plants and protein. I'm still going to have whatever processed fun food, whatever food is there. I'm still going to have those foods, but I'm not going to eat to the point that I feel gross. I want to feel good, not gross. Pain, pleasure. And then the last thing, tip number 7, is affirm your wins and learn the lessons that you need to learn from your losses, right? So we have wins and we have losses, or I've read this so many places, and I know that my mentor Jill used to say you have wins and you have lessons. There are going to be things that go really well. Great. Hey, look, I exercised every day while I was traveling. That's so wonderful. Hey, look, I drink water. I filled up my water bottle like 8 times a day while I was traveling. That's so great. Look, I ate vegetables every day, right? So we have some wins. Wow, I feel really good, good about myself, but I have some lessons that I need to learn. I felt gross because we went to the donut shop and I got 3 donuts because I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get to eat these donuts again. I better eat them all. And you know what? It ended up not feeling so great. Or, I started out the trip and I was exercising and moving my body. And then by the end of the trip, I just stopped doing it. I decided, to not do it and I didn't feel so great, right? So there are going to be mistakes that pop up. There's going to be losses, but it's like, what lessons can you learn? Oh, okay, cool. I need to prioritize vegetables. I didn't do that. Maybe I'll bring some green powder with me so that I always have some vegetables. Or maybe I'm always going to have some protein bars with me, or whatever it is. Or I didn't bring workout equipment next time. I just need to bring some bands so I keep my legs loose while we're traveling, whatever it is. But like, affirm your wins, like give yourself the celebration of those things that you did well. and learn from the mistakes, learn from the losses so that they're not just things that you repeat the next time you travel. You're like, okay, cool. Here's the thing that I learned. So, again, 7 tips for staying healthy while traveling. Name your pain and pleasure. Tip 2, name your current identity and your aspirational identity. Tip 3, get some sleep, set a bedtime and get sleep. Tip 4, drink water. Tip 5, self-care session with movements. And if you're running, this is the perfect time. Go for a run in your morning before you go on an adventure. Go for a short run and explore your area. Tip 6, eat with the 5 Ps. And tip 7, affirm your wins and learn the lessons that you need to learn. So that's it for me. If you have any questions, you can email me at coachjacqueline@jacquelinericchio.com. And to get started, I highly recommend the 7-minute self-care session. You can go to systemsforselfcare.com/7 minutes. That's going to give you a really easy worksheet so that you can create a self-care session, create the habit of showing up for yourself, create the habit of like being healthy while you're at home. And then when you go on a trip, it's like, okay, cool. I'm just going to carry these habits over while I am traveling. Take care. I will see you in the next one. Bye.